What's happening in the real estate market today as interest rates go up and all this stuff? I just heard Richard Fisher, Dallas Fed chairman, he said a unit, I could be wrong on the numbers, 3,500 units. One apartment complex went down. And I'm afraid it's going to get worse. Another thing to understand is different types of real estate. Some of the worst properties are the darlings called office buildings. Everybody thought, oh, I'm going to own an office building in Manhattan and all this. And today, they're going to crash. It's going to take people down. I was a student of Dr. R. Buckminster Fuller. They call him the friendly genius. John Denver called him the grandfather of the future because he's a futurist. And years ago in the 80s, I heard him say office buildings will someday be homes for homeless people. I went, what? That was sacrilegious for me back then. And now it's here. 50 years ago, I'm listening to this guy who says office buildings will soon be homeless shelters. And you look at the number of homeless is exploding. Real estate's in parts of it are in serious trouble right now. But when things are bad, also there's good opportunities for things. The amateurs are now floating to the surface, as they say. I feel terrible for people because people come up to me and they go, oh, I took your advice. I bought real estate. I'm going, holy moly. Real estate's not like a stock. Like you don't just buy real estate like you buy Apple. And the difference is if you buy Apple stock, and let's say it's $10 and it goes down to $6, you can get out of it really quickly. But with real estate, it's not that liquid, and that's why you've got to be smarter. And why I cringe when people say, oh, I just jumped into real estate. I'm going, oh my God. It's like jumping off a moving train or something. So much is going on in real estate. What happened since 2008, they kept lowering interest rates, and the whole world economy went into a bubble. It was a real estate bubble, a bond bubble, and a stock bubble. And so everything got inflated, but as I raised interest rates in 2020, a lot of those bubbles are bursting. So it's good news and bad news. People, I caution that you have a financial planner that's at 35, let's say. That financial planner has only known a boom market, because as it dropped interest rates, the market kept going up. So I meet some of the young women and men, they go, oh, yeah. All they know is a good market. But the biggest opportunities float when the bodies start floating. When the bodies start floating to the surface, you go, oh my God, I can't believe that came up. Oh my God, look at that. There were so many deals coming up when the fish start to float. So capital gain strategies, we call it flipping. When I first met Kenny 20-something years ago, everybody was into flipping. And the show flipped this house and all this. So you buy a property for, let's say, $10,000. It goes up to $15,000. You flip it, you net $5, but you pay capital gains, and we don't do that. Yeah, I'm chuckling because there's in the world full of real estate gurus. There's some of these charlatans on YouTube. I've got into arguments with some of them. This guy says the way you get rich, just go out and buy a 200-unit apartment house. And I said, you don't start with a 200-unit apartment house, idiot. That's suicide. But that's what he was selling. I know the trick is called a bait and switch. So you go there, he shows you how you too can buy a 200-unit apartment house for like nothing down and all this other stuff, but you're on the hook for millions. And then you go roaring off and try to do it. His real gimmick is to sell you what he's selling. Always remember, your profit is made when you buy. And then one of the things I really get kind of sad about people, when real estate started going up, everybody started jumping in. And that's not when you jump in, not when it's going up. You want to ride that roller coaster down and then buy. The economy is on shaky grounds. Banks are failing all over the place. And the question is, what do you do about it? And I get really, really excited because your profits are made when you buy. And as prices of real estate crash, it's actually the best time to be a buyer. But as I say it again, I meet people who are amateurs at this business. They wait, the price went on $100,000, went up $200,000. Oh, we got buyers lined up for the property. And that's when people jump in. You should be getting out at that moment if you want to get out. Right, the people that are in trouble, the people who jumped in late, you know what I mean? They were at the top of the market, so it's going to keep going up. That's a big lie, is that real estate always goes up. That's not true at all. Real estate uses debt, and you may or may not know this, but the US dollar is debt. In other words, money cannot exist unless somebody borrows it. And so all these guys, our friend Dave Ramsey always says, live debt-free. I go, you got to be crazy. But if you don't know how to handle debt, definitely live debt-free. I met Dave at a restaurant up the street here. He's a great guy. And his advice for most people is cut up your credit cards, get out of debt and all this. The reason about living debt-free makes no sense, simply because the fiat currency, called the US dollar, the yen, the peso, the euro, they're debt. They're instruments of debt. Like a bond is an instrument of debt. And that's why Dave Ramsey is saying living debt-free, it kind of goes contraindicative. How can that be if it's debt? And always remember this, the US dollar or the euro and all these other currencies, they come into existence only by people borrowing it. And that's why our friend Dave Ramsey says live debt free. And that's good advice if you don't know what you're doing.